It was the kind of morning that made the air cut like glass. Frost clung to every fence post and the sky was painted in pale gray. Ethan Carter, a farmer in his mid-30s, leaned against his broken-down tractor, staring at it as though sheer willpower might bring it back to life. The old machine sat stubborn and silent, another reminder of the long list of things he couldn't fix. The last harvest had been brutal. Too much rain in the spring, too much heat in the summer, and far too little money in the bank to cover the debts that stacked like bricks on his kitchen counter. Some nights, Ethan wondered if he was hanging onto the farm for himself, or just for the memory of his late father who had built this land with his own 2 hands. He sighed, muttering under his breath, "One more day, just one more day." That's when he heard it, the sound of a car engine coughing at the edge of his property. He turned toward the dirt driveway that stretched out like a frozen vein through the fields. A sleek, black SUV sat stranded there, its headlights dim against the morning fog. Out stepped a young woman, mid-20s, stylish, city-polished. She tugged her scarf tighter and kicked at the gravel with frustration. "Oh, come on, not today." Ethan hesitated. Strangers rarely wandered down this far, and truthfully, he didn't have much left to give. Not time, not energy, not even a smile. But something deep down, something his father had once taught him, nudged him forward. You help if you can, no matter who it is. He walked up, boots crunching in the frost. Having trouble? She looked up quickly, startled, then relief washed over her face. "Yes, thank God. My car just died and I'm late for an important meeting." Ethan nodded, motioning for her to pop the hood. Within minutes, his hands, so used to fixing old farm equipment, coaxed the SUV's engine back to life. The woman's jaw dropped. "You're a lifesaver," she exclaimed. "Seriously, thank you. I'm Anna." "Ethan," he replied simply. She extended her hand, nails perfectly manicured, soft against his calloused grip. For a moment, their worlds couldn't have been more different. Anna glanced toward his farmhouse, the chipped paint, the sagging roof, the fields that looked weary under winter's grip. "You're a farmer?" she asked. "Trying to be," Ethan said with a half-smile, half-sigh. There was something in his tone, like every word carried the weight of years of struggle, that made her pause. She reached into her purse. "Can I pay you for helping me?" He shook his head firmly. "No, you were stuck. Anyone would have stopped." But Anna knew better. Not everyone would. The memory of the quiet farmer lingered with her. She thought about him often, the way he had helped without hesitation, the way he had refused her money. In her world, kindness usually came with strings attached. Ethan's hadn't. On impulse, she drove back out to his farm a week later. When he opened the door, confusion flickered across his face. "Car trouble again?" he asked. She laughed. "No, this time I just wanted to say hi." What began as short visits grew into longer ones. Anna helped carry water buckets, asked questions about planting seasons, and sat on his porch drinking coffee from mismatched mugs. She learned Ethan had been alone since his father passed, doing everything himself, plowing, planting, harvesting, and fighting off creditors who seemed hungrier than the land itself. She also noticed little things, the way he always offered her the warmer blanket when the wind picked up, the way his eyes softened when he spoke about the farm as though it were alive, a friend he refused to abandon. One evening, Anna confessed, "You know, I don't usually out and stay in places like this. My life's all noise, traffic, deadlines, but here it feels different, quieter, real." Ethan chuckled. "Real isn't always easy." She tilted her head. "Maybe easy isn't what we need." One night, as stars spilled across the sky, Anna hesitated before saying, "Ethan, there's something I should tell you." He raised an eyebrow. "Sounds serious." "My father, he's Richard Coleman." The name hit Ethan like a slap. Richard Coleman, the billionaire agricultural mogul. Everyone in farming knew the name. Coleman's companies bought failing farms, flipped them, sold them. Ruthless, efficient. And Ethan's own debt? It had been sold to one of Coleman's subsidiaries. For a moment, Ethan couldn't breathe. Sitting beside him, the girl he'd been growing to trust was the daughter of the man who might take everything from him. Anna's voice wavered. "I didn't want you to see me as his daughter. I wanted you to see me as me." Ethan looked away, torn between anger and the memory of her standing helpless by the road, just a girl with a broken car. After a long silence, he said softly, "You could have left that day, but you didn't. That says more than your last name ever will." A few weeks later, a letter arrived in Ethan's mailbox. His hands trembled as he opened it, bracing for another blow. But it wasn't a demand, it was a release, his debt wiped clean. Confused, he drove into town and found Anna waiting for him at the diner. "My father knows about you now," she said, eyes bright. "At first, he didn't believe me when I told him about a farmer who helped me without wanting a thing in return. But when I pushed, he listened. He agreed to forgive your debt. More than that, he wants to invest in your farm. On one condition." Ethan leaned in, still stunned. "And what's that?" "That you let me help." Ethan's throat tightened. For years, he had carried this farm on his back, convinced he was alone. Now, sitting across from him was someone who not only wanted to lift the weight, but believed in the land as much as he did. "I don't know if I can accept all that," he admitted. Anna smiled. "It's not charity, Ethan, it's faith, faith in you." That spring, the fields bloomed brighter than they had in years. Rows of young crops stretched under the sun, a promise of a new beginning. Ethan and Anna worked side by side, sometimes arguing, sometimes laughing, always moving forward. One evening, as they stood at the edge of the fields, Anna whispered, "Funny, isn't it? All this started because of a broken car." Ethan smiled, watching the horizon glow gold. Sometimes the smallest things change everything. Compassion doesn't ask for last names or bank accounts or family ties. It simply gives. Ethan's choice to help a stranger didn't just repair a car. It repaired his future, his hope, and maybe even his heart. Because kindness, no matter how small, always finds its way back.